But you'd much rather lead 15 other states in massive resistance against so-called big government and tell your constituents, good luck in the private sector. And speaking of the private sector, seems like you'd also like to sell off our kids' education to the highest bidder. That educational voucher system that you established, the largest one in the country, the one that gives vouchers to religious schools that teach creationism and allows them to keep their state funding even if their students fail basic reading and math tests, that one, we're not fooled. This is not about reform. It is about, as the Interfaith Alliance wrote, your inability to distinguish between religious indoctrination and basic public education. And you think you might be just a little bit more suspicious of the whole private sector equals public good equation in the week when BP guilty to 14 criminal charges in connection with the Deepwater Horizon's rig explosion just off our shores 2 years ago. You chastised President Obama's energy policy by saying it was, quote, subservient byproduct of his radical environmental policy. But even as our fragile coast loses a football field of protective wetlands every 38 minutes, you, Bobby, remain in favor of new drilling parcels, hydrofracking, and the Keystone XL pipeline. Just who is the environmental radical? Tell you what, Governor. If you're bored with dealing with the real problems that face us in Louisiana, if you're ready to move on to the national stage, don't wait until the end of your term. Pull a Palin. Quit now. We'll find somebody else. Because you know, as we say in Nerdland, hashtag FBJ. Forget Bobby Jindal. Sincerely, Melissa.
Oh, Jackie, I agree with you. Me and the monkeys love it. Melissa Harris Perry, that was wonderful.
Did she tear it up?
Yes, I can see why you would want her to speak for you tonight.
Yes, when I saw that, I was like, well, I don't have to write a commentary because Melissa's got this covered.
Speaking of commentaries, you're the nation as it is. The listeners are really checking you out.
Yes, I know, and thank you all so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, girl, they kind of like it. They kind of liking you. And of course, I've always liked you. I knew you were smart as hell. And I agree totally. Bobby Jindal has jumped out the gate acting like he all normal, acting all brand new and shit. He was right there with Romney, Governor Romney, when he knew Governor Romney was a motherfucking psycho.
Listen, that is the thing that I have found absolutely amazing and really very instructive watching the Republicans now, because they were towing the line up until the time that, you know, the Karl Rove had his meltdown.
Yeah.
Okay, they were towing the line until it was like, Barack Obama wins. Then it was like, what?
Jackie, we just had another person join the chat room. My friend, Barry K. Jackson. Barry is a DJ out of Kansas City, Missouri, FM. And I'm looking down, I'm listening to you, and all I see is he ain't worth a quarter.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome, Barry. This is amazing, Jackie. You know, all of these highfalutin Republicans that were swearing that Governor Romney, yes, he's wonderful, yes, and as soon as they lost,
yes,
he's not. He ain't shit. They just
exactly.
But this was your man.
That's right.
This was your man, and within a day,
yes,
he ain't shit. No wonder Romney out there driving the lonesome planes, pumping gas and shit, and looking crazy.
Yeah,
if you had a party who was all behind you, it's like they said, you know, this was amazing to me that Rush Limbaugh said, we don't care if he's Mickey Mouse, Goofy. All they wanted was a body to sign their shit.
Yes. And
then we heard Mr. Who's the one I'm always asking? Who the fuck is he? Grover Norquist. Been asking Jackie for over a year. Who is he? I had never heard of this fool until Barack Obama became the president. And I've always wondered why the people that elected these Republicans, what the fuck is he doing signing? What are their elected officials doing signing?
He has his tax pledge.
Yeah, what are they doing signing that with him? They did not elect him.
No, they did not.
But you got to know, Jackie, that he had to be paying for those signatures.
Well,
one way or the other.
What Grover Norquist has been holding over the Republicans' heads, because, you don't see a bunch of Democrats signing this crap. Okay, but what he has been holding over their heads is that he has, outside dollars. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't do what I want you to do, I'm going to put my outside dollars with a candidate to get you in the primary.
You remember the story, Jackie, of Boehner back when he was trying to get a tobacco bill or something passed, and it was said that he was going on throughout the Congress, on the floor, passing out $20,000 checks, putting them in the pockets of people right there on the floor. And I guess they shamed him out of that. So that's why, just because they shamed him out of doing it in front of everybody, or doing it on the floor as you take your vote.
Yes.
I had to believe that Grover Norquist had to be giving them some checks or some cash or something. But it was amazing. And then, just a day or two before the election, we didn't hear Grover Norquist coming out on TV a whole lot.
Yes.
But just a day or two before the election, he said, we didn't need a champion. Yeah. We don't need some crusader. All we need is somebody to sit in that seat and sign the what we put in front of him. And I thought, damn, that's disrespectful.
Yes, it is.
So, I mean, we knew that they all weren't behind Romney.
Yes.
But that was just real disrespectful. And, you and I have seen many tape of Romney when he ran on shit he believed in.
Yes.
And he was really a little force to be reckoned with. He was good looking. And when he spoke from his heart, when he had a heart,
yes,
he was convincing.
Yes.
But now he looked like a liar. He looked like he had a turd crossways his ass at all times that just wouldn't come out.
Yes.
And he wasn't allowed to speak on anything except that what they told him to speak on.
Yes.
And that's why he looked so phony.
Yes.
He just always looked like he was confused. I'm confused.
Well, that's because he was.
Yeah,
because how many times during the campaign did Romney say something this morning, and then a statement was released from his campaign that afternoon contradicting what he said this morning?
Okay, just like they didn't know where he stood with the Lilly Ledbetter Act.
Right.
And he's on that call, and the reporter says, does Governor Romney stand for the... And then they start with, does Governor Romney stand for a little bit? We'll get back to him. We'll get back to you. Never did get back to him. Yeah. And then the day that Marco Rubio showed up with him somewhere, and President Obama had come out and said what he was doing for the college kids, dropping this interest rate and stuff, and he forgets to even talk about it in his speech.
Yeah.
And then Marco Rubio hunches him and tells him, oh yeah, and that low interest rate for college kids, yeah, that too. Nigga, please.
Yeah.
Have some respect for somebody. I mean, he was just pitiful. But you talking about jumping ship like a bunch of rats, Jackie.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't even wait until the election was over before they started calling him a poo-poo head.
Well, that is what Grover Norquist famously said.
Yes.
That since he said basically the Obama campaign's rhetoric was Romney is a poopy head, so you should vote against him because nobody likes him.
There he said that was when he came up with the binders full of women.
Oh yeah, binders full of women. Yes, well.
Sorry, Jack and I have the Negro Please Here list. And we've been called Negroes and niggas and shit so long, it don't even offend me. Now, I know some people would rather that I didn't say it, but you'll be all right. You will. And if you come from now, I'm not going to speak for all black homes, but when we grew up, you know, we could say that and we could fall on the floor laughing. And when we go home to one of our great reunions, we still say it. But for those of you who get offended by it, plug your ears, because every now and then it slips out with me. But I try to keep it to Negro please. And Jackie and I have the Negro please list and the dumbass comment. And you don't have to be black or green or yellow or white or nothing around here to be called a Negro or a nigger. Just be a dumbass. And you get that reward. Because my mother always raised me, Jackie's grandmother, always raised us to believe that they weren't talking about us when they were talking about niggas. They're not talking about you, darling.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's not what you're called, it's what you'll answer to.
And she really taught us that, and I never ever felt like whatever it is you're supposed to feel like when you're nigga, and I stopped whooping white folks' ass about that a long time ago. Which they ought to be glad.
That is so wonderful.
Hey, and I love white folks. My husband was white. Hey, Jackie, I sang and eat with white folks. And he got called a nigga too, my husband.
Yes, I'm sure he did.
You know, yeah. So all my white friends and shit, they know when I would turn Negro please. Mm-hmm. So for all of y'all that I've offended, I say kiss my ass. No, I mean, I'm sorry. But you'll be all right. Okay, Jackie. So times are moving on.
But we haven't made it to.
Oh, that's right. You know, I have to keep grabbing my clock, my phone to see the time.
Know, I mean, we're still doing okay.
We're doing good. Yeah, it's not time for the Negro please yet.
No, it's not time for Negro please yet.
Our chat room, Jack, they are having themselves some real fun in here.
Look, I told you, I do not look at the chats while we're doing. I look at the chats on the break, but not while we're. I
try not to, Jackie, but sometimes, you know, my eyes just fall over there. Okay. My eyes just fall over there. But you know what, Jackie, I want to have my doctor, you know, who has been, he receives an award every year for one of the best 100 doctors in America.
Yeah.
And even though he's a conservative, I don't believe he's crazy.
No, well, you know, conservatism, there are a lot of areas where actual conservatism, I guess what you would call a classic conservative and classic liberalism overlap.
Yes.
But even though the Republicans call themselves conservatives, that is not what they are, and that is not the philosophy.
That is the code word for hoe.
No.
Oh, no? Okay.
They are authoritarian.
Okay, I'm sorry. That is the code word for authoritarians.
No.
No, and not hoe. Okay.
Republicans are authoritarians. Well, they're hoes too. I have to take that.
Dana Ray said they dare you to look. They dare you to look at your channel.
I am not looking, Dave. I'm not looking.
They dare you to look. Okay, so y'all know that Jackie is the intellectual on the show, and I am the.
No, I'm not. I was an intellectual before I started doing the show, but now I don't know what I am.
I am the entertainer. But having said that, you are listening to Let's Talk About It. I am the wild and wonderful Brenda White, and Jackie is, well, she's a little confused as to who she is, but she really is the uppity and well-read Jackie Lambert, okay? And so we come to you every Tuesday night from 9 until 11 p.m., and we like to talk about it with you. We like to keep you informed because we are the authoritarian figures on informing folks. That's why we won the Spreaker U-Voice 2012 award for most informative. Now, how we inform you, it may be a little unusual, but nonetheless, you are informed. So we're going to take a short break. We're going to come back, and we're going to finish up with our Negro Please list and anything else that Jackie and I feel like we have to inform you. Okay? All right. Whatever. What the fuck? Okay. So, you're listening to Let's Talk About It. The demise of the poopy heads. And we will be right back.